Hi, I am Frederica, and you're watching me most likely on YouTube on my page, Thinking Free with Frederica. And so we're on, or I'm on, to talk with us today about some interesting things connected to emotional and mental wellness, as well as to just provide some insight on ways that we can navigate our mental landscape, right? So, mental health is not just when things are going crazy, things are going haywire, or somebody is having a hard time, or the other kind of buzzwords out there is like panic attack, anxiety, starting to, feel all kinds of things and not know what to do. Like mental health is health. Mental health is a part of like our overall well-being, our overall existence. And so we need understanding of it regardless, whether there is a problem that we're experiencing or if there is or if there's not a problem that we're experiencing. We just need to know how to support, how to understand our mental landscape, a mental and emotional. Like mental and emotional covers so many things, and so today we will continue our chats on this topic. As you may know or may not know, I am a licensed mental health professional in the state of Texas. I am not your therapist, unless you are currently assigned to me. But I am not your therapist, but I am a therapist. If you would like to connect with a therapist, you may do so. There are many therapists out there who can support you, as well as this video is not therapeutic advice. This video is great information, so I think. And you can choose to align with it and, take it in and do something with it, or you cannot. So here on today, we're going to look at an aspect of our mental and emotional health is looking at our internal experience. We have an internal experience going on, which is, the things that we internally feel, sensations, thoughts, beliefs, um, and how our body, even our physiology responds, or and reacts and engages with us, as well as we have the external, like what's going on. Is someone yelling? Is there loud noises? Is there a demand on your time? Are you exerting yourself? Are you running? Are you falling? Those kinds of things. And so we get to look at the external and internal factors that impact us. So today like I said, we're going to look at one of those aspects, and we're going to look at an aspect of our internal experience. And one of the ways that we're going to consider the internal experience is through our soul. And one of the ways that I look at the soul is the immaterial, intangible aspect of who we are as an individual. That no one person on this earth, or no two people on this earth, are exactly alike. And one of the reasons why they're not alike is that we each have our own individual soul that makes us uniquely who we are, that helps us to engage with the world and other people in the ways that we do, that is designed to be the way that we do it, not the way that the next person does it, but the exact way that we do it. And so we get to look at that, because if we are all uniquely designed, then there are ways that we uniquely engage with the things that are impacted with the things in our environment, both internally and externally. This is important to know, so one, we can stop trying to make everybody act like us. We can stop expecting people to act in the way that we do. We can let ourselves off the hook for not acting like someone else and how they handle something that you can experience the exact same thing as in a person next to you or a person in the household with you and come out completely different. Why? Because we are actually different. We are actually different. Now, there are some behaviors that we can see that typically follow a an experience or bring about an experience, but in it or in with that is still the fact that we are uniquely designed as individuals. So, one of the ways that we look at the soul is through a modality called internal family systems, developed by Richard Schwartz, and we will talk about that kind of through in and throughout these videos. And so, one of the ways in which we look at the soul is through parts of it. Not looking at the soul as an as one thing, but as parts. So we look at the soul as the parts of us that protect us, the parts of us that hold the wound, and our core God-led self or our core self. So, in looking at the protectors, which is what we're going to talk about today, the protector parts are the parts of our soul that develop to help us navigate emotional pain, whether that's to try to prevent the emotional pain or to extinguish emotional pain or stop the emotional pain, lessen, decrease it once it shows up or once we begin to feel it. Why do we have these? Well, we go through life every day experiencing different things, and we have figured out whether consciously or unconsciously, ways to navigate those things that we experience. Like for some of us that are of the age of driving, we may have started driving around the age of 16 in the US. And so if you're, been driving for 10, 20 years, you just kind of know how to do it. You develop tricks to it. You may be one-handing it, don't tell the officers, but there's ways that you drive or drive your car that help you get to where you're going. And so we can look at protectors and parts of the soul that protect us as ways that we get through um experiences to try to get us where we're going, to get to that destination that we want to be in. If that destination is a relationship or feeling safe, feeling whole, these protector parts can come in and try to protect us as an individual so that we can attain, so we can get to the thing that we want. Well, what we know is some of the ways that they do that can actually cause problems because it was developed, some protectors were developed in places of pain and hurtful experiences that are unresolved, that they are still very much speaking in some distorted or unhealthy ways in our life. So one of the first protectors that we're going to look at is the manager. And the manager's protector part's job is to keep us from emotional pain. So that is the thing that gets in front of it, that tries to see danger, see emotional pain afar off, and try to prevent it. And one big way that many people engage in protecting themselves from emotional pain is worrying. You might be like, what? Worrying causes pain. Well, if we look at one of the ways to break down worry is like worry is the individual thinking about different scenarios, different situations to try to prevent a bad or worst case scenario or something that would feel uncomfortable or painful to that person. So that worry behavior is a behavior that manager part has figured out to help it get through or avoid emotional pain. So you might say, well, what else does it do? Okay, well, that's self-critical part that shows up. Do you hear that voice that says something is wrong with your outfit, something you should have did it better? Well, you might say, well, that's not preventing pain, that's causing pain. Well, In a way, you're right. So, but also what is it doing is it's trying to analyze a situation to say, this is why the pain happened. Don't do that no more. It is trying to tell you for future situations, how, or one of the ways is trying to tell you for future situations how you can engage, how you can do it, how you should present yourself so that you don't have the experience with emotional pain. There are several more like controlling behaviors, people pleasing behaviors, approval seeking behaviors, which is in alignment with people pleasing, and then striving and protecting. Why do we need to know this? One, so that we can start looking at behaviors for what they're trying to accomplish for us, not just what we do and why and the behavior being done and us not wanting to and trying to get it out. Because if you take that behavior out or try to get it out when it's actually trying to solve a problem for you, which is keeping you from emotional pain, then you may not be able to accomplish it in the way that you want, and you can feel very defeated or feel like it's not changing. It keeps circling back around. When you get in pressure situations, it shows back up again. Well, it's showing back up again because it is in you. It has become a part of you, and it is helping you to avoid emotional pain. And so we want to kind of explore that a little bit more, asking yourself, like, what job is this behavior trying to accomplish for me? And it's not always just to worry. Like if you worry about if a person worries about losing their job, it may be connected to something deeper than losing a job. It is, how will they sustain their life? So they're worried about preservation. They could be worried about or trying to prevent, loss of connections at work. Which is actually more social than it is about the job. And so when we can slow down and ask ourselves questions about what that behavior is trying to prevent, the negative or the uncomfortable thing that behavior is trying to prevent, then we develop a different relationship with that part of us, and likely it will be easier to change because then you can give yourself what it is actually trying to accomplish, so that that part of you doesn't have to do it the way that it was doing it, which was worry or being critical or people pleasing. It can do it in a way that is actually proactive and helpful, and then you can build trust with your own self. So that is the first part that we're going to talk about, that manager, and we all got it. So there is no looking at another person or looking at yourself to say that it doesn't apply. Well, it may just be how you're framing it. And it's okay if your framework for mental and emotional experiences don't align with this. But whatever you choose, let it help you to think more free. Let it help you to live more free so that you can enjoy the life created for you. Um, this has been another short talk on Thinking Free with Frederica. I hope to catch you in later videos. Feel free to share, subscribe, and like the video. And I look forward to seeing you in the future.